So if I have a ball and I let go of it, is it going to go up or down? Well, it's going to go down. Why does it go down? Gravity. Gravity pulls it down. Pulls it straight down. So if I have it on a pendulum, which is a string, I pull it out, is the ball going to go straight across? No, gravity is going to pull it down. And that's what creates our pendulum. So the ball comes to a height, and the gravity pulls it back to the ground again. And that's why it keeps going back and forth, back and forth. We're going to explore potential, kinetic, and collision energy today using my pendulum setup here. So first, let's go over a few things. So potential energy. Do we remember what potential energy is? If I have this ball hanging on a string and I hold it back here, the ball now has potential energy. That means that it's not in motion. It has the potential to move if I let go of it. It could go up, it could go down, or it could swing. Potentially, it's going to move. It's something that is going to happen in the future. Now, if I let the ball go, I have a different kind of energy. I now have kinetic energy. That means that the energy inside the ball has allowed it to start moving or to have motion. It's being in motion. Okay? Now let's talk about collision energy. And collision energy is what we're going to use today to measure how much potential energy we put in the ball. Okay? So we're going to use these little blocks right here, and I'm going to place them on my little stand here. And I'm going to show you how I do this. And I am going to be measuring how far my block travels once it has experienced collision energy with the ball. And we're going to measure from up here what angle or how much energy we put in to the ball. Okay? So we're going to pull this back to 10 degrees and release it and see what happens to our block. That's collision energy. The kinetic energy in the ball hit the block and transferred that energy into the block to move it. Okay? So let's do a little experiment. Let's see if we change the angle from which we are releasing the ball, if it has an effect on how far down the track that our block will move. Okay? So I've got my block set up right here, and we're going to measure from the back of the block. So my block is set on 0 inches, and I'm going to pull my ball back to 10 degrees, which is right about there. And I know it might look a little different on the camera, and it has to do with the camera angle, but it's at about 10 degrees, and I'm going to release my ball. And we're going to see. So the back of the cube was at 0, and it is now at 4.5 inches. So at 10 degrees, the block moved 4.5 inches. Now I believe you have a chart you can fill out. So you would write a 10, and then you put a little circle at the end of the 0, and that means degrees. So it moved 10 degrees, or I swung from 10 degrees, and it moved 4.5 inches. So you would put 4.5 inches for the distance that the block traveled. All right, let's try it again. Let's try changing the degrees that we're going to swing our ball from. Let's see if we can put more kinetic energy into the ball if we make it swing from a higher height. So now we're going to go from 20 degrees. Ready? That didn't work so good. I bumped it. Let's try it again. We know all experiments have problems. So go back to the 20 degrees and release. Okay, so at 20 degrees, put that in your chart. This is trial number 2. 20 degrees, our block traveled 6.5 inches. 6.5 inches. So at 10 degrees, we moved 4.5 inches. At 20 degrees, we moved 6.5 inches. Did we have more kinetic energy in our ball from the 20 degree angle than we did at the 10 degree angle? All right, let's try it one more time. We're going to do a third trial. This time, we're going to put our ball all the way out to 30 degrees and see how far our block moves down the track. Has anybody got any guesses? If we know it went 4.5 inches and then it went 6.5 inches, how far do you think it'll travel if we go another 10 degrees higher? If we go to 30 degrees. Any predictions? Okay. So we're right here. This is our collision point, and we're going to go all the way out to 30 degrees and release. Wow. Our block actually traveled 11 inches that time. So at 30 degrees, we traveled 11 inches down the track. So does that mean if I have the ball at a higher height, that it has more kinetic energy? And exactly what causes the kinetic energy?